Hello, and welcome back to another episode of How Can We Find You? My name's Adrienne. I'm joined here by Chelsea. She can't, we can't end up getting her video to work, so she's just joining in with us via a phone call. Chelsea, you want to say hello? Chelsea?
Hey, how's it going?
All right, we got that
Hello,
working
how's it going?
again. All right, today we are going to talk about three famous missing people. We're going to have Chelsea guess again on who she thinks it is, because she can't see the screen. But this is a little different. These three people that are missing, instead of just being 100-year-old missing people, this one's a little different because this is three missing people that are all involved with each other. The reason one is missing is because of the other. They're all intertwined. Are you ready to play the game today, Chelsea? I do apologize. There is a small delay in Chelsea's
Let's go.
responses. All right.
Let's go. Did you get
Let's
me?
go. Okay. So we're going to set the scene. It's 1960. And this man ended up being sentenced to Alcatraz for a crime he committed. He links up with two other inmates. And in June of 1962, specifically June 11th, they break out of Alcatraz using a raft made of raincoats. And authorities launched a massive manhunt, the biggest one since them trying to find the Lindbergh baby. And they end up finding the raft and personal items. While most people believe these people have drowned, they've never been found. No bodies, no evidence that they've died. And also, not only did they build that raft out of raincoats, they also made plaster dummies for their beds as a deterrent for when they were searching for the inmates, giving them time to not only escape, but time before they would have been sought out because they left in the middle of the night. One of these people has an IQ of 133. He's a borderline genius. They were all pronounced dead in 1979. Do you know who I am talking about?
Frank Morrison and the Anglin brothers, John and Clarence.
John and Clarence Anglin and Frank Morris. Absolutely. Frank went into Alcatraz plotting his escape. Like, there was no way he wasn't going to escape. That was his goal. I'm not staying here, and I don't want to be here. And now the pictures on the screen, Chelsea, you can't see them, but it's a picture of all three inmates kind of with a cutout, and like behind them is a backdrop of like their newspapers from their escape. And I have to say that John Anglin does not look like a friendly guy. Like, I don't know that I'd ever want to have a conversation with him because he looks really mean.
Oh, that's creepy.
And so, like, these guys were intelligent. I know a lot of people think they drowned. I don't think they did. I really don't think they did. Sorry.
Then they definitely didn't. When there's a will, there's a way, and this man had a will, you know.
They did. They had a will. Like, they plotted this for years and perfectly made the escape with stolen tools, including spoons and saw blades. Like, they made plaster versions of themselves as a deterrent. Like,
A lot of time.
that's something kids these days would do to like deter their parents from thinking they snuck out of the house. Like, this is
Right.
not
Like,
you're not dealing with your everyday dumb criminals who don't know what they're doing. These are not petty crimes. You didn't get sent to Alcatraz for petty crimes. You got sent to Alcatraz because you were violent, ruthless, aggressive, and intelligent, and tried to escape other
Exactly.
prisons.
Exactly.
Because that place was locked down like harder than Fort Knox. Like it was locked down. So you have super intelligent people in this prison, and they've linked up with each other, and they've written books about. There was a movie about these guys, and I believe Clint Eastwood was in that movie. He played one of the escapees. But breaking news, well, it's not breaking news, it came out in July of 2024. Um, there's new theories that have emerged on what happened to the three men after they dramatically escaped. Um, I'm just reading really quickly. This was just sent to me. Um, there there are writers named Ken Widener and Mike Lynch that shared their fascinating theory with a book, Alcatraz: The Last Escape.
Okay.
And their theory is that the trio escaped the jail in a makeshift raft and used wires to hitch themselves to a passing boat. And from there, the fugitives met a second boat in the San Francisco Bay Area, which took them to dry land. A private plane chartered from a small airport at neighboring Marin County flew the trio to Mexico, to begin a new life. This is what they claim. They also claim that later the trio moved to Brazil, where at least two of the men are said to have survived until the 1990s. Federal investigations into the escape, immortalized in the 1979 film Escape from Alcatraz, starring Clint Eastwood, concluded that the Anglin brothers and Morris must have drowned in the freezing, shark infested bay. Widener and Lynch have used family interviews, historical documents, and photo evidence to explain their theory. Widener, who also happens to be the nephew of the Anglin brothers, claims the trio made their way south and married locals, raising children of their own and tended to farms in the mountains of Brazil till at least the 1990s. Hoping to correct the record about his uncles, Widener deep dived into their upbringing, which stretched back to their formative years in Ruskin, Florida, and their parents were seasonal farm workers. So this is the nephew. This is the nephew. Like, I mean, how how much more of a theory do you need?
Interesting.
Like you have a family member of two of the escapees saying they survived. Bro, they survived. Like they did what they did, and then they went down into South America and raised families.
What if they were government secret agents and it was just a test to see if they could break out and they've been protected their whole lives? I don't know.
I was just saying, like, to write a whole book with the claiming of, like, I am blood bound to these guys. I know what happened. You just can't get to them because they died in the 1990s.
It's amazing either way to break out of some place like that.
Which would make sense because by 1990, if they were in their 20s or 30s in 1962,
Right.
then they would have been at least in their 50s to 60s in the 90s. And if that's just where they're cutting off because they don't want their uncles to get found, good for them. Good for them. Because today they'd be in their 80s.
It's just insane to think about.
What's even more crazy is like none of them, from what I read, killed anybody. I don't think they were going to be in Alcatraz for the rest of their lives.
Right.
So
Not
why did you break out? I don't understand. But
well,
those are questions that I will never have answered.
exactly.
So, all right. Well, we have discussed the missing trio from Alcatraz today. Um, Laid out some conspiracy theories that I think were really, really interesting. Chelsea, do you have anything more you'd like to add?
I don't think so. No, this is fun. I've had fun.
This one was a lot of fun because this one I can kind of. What happened, them escaping is not joking. Like, it's not a joking matter. They should not. They should not have broke out. Period, point blank. You did the crime, do the time. I firmly believe that. But the fact is that they were so intelligent that they were smart enough to use materials that would, I guess, float. I mean, I'm not sure all of what they did with that to make sure that the raft floated or whatever. But for them to have found it, it wasn't at the bottom of the ocean, means that it did, in fact, float. And the fact that the nephew in this conspiracy theorist book is saying, hey, they used wires and attached themselves to boats. And then they went to Mexico. Well, all right then.
The fact that they were all in Alcatraz for being serial escape riskies is just interesting to me. And the FBI declares them dead. So
Yeah, the
it
FBI
sounds like
declared them
they were
dead
just trying
in
something.
1979. Let's
Yeah.
talk about it. That wasn't even 20 years into it. That wasn't even 20 years into it.
Yeah. Well, when stuff like that happens, I'm like, why do you want me to stop looking?
So I don't know if maybe they're just like, they're not a risk anymore, or what they decided to do. But
They
the
just
U.S.
said that they
Marshals would like
drowned,
to speak
but
to you,
no
gentlemen.
bodies.
If you watch this video, the U.S. Marshals have asked us to let you know they would like to talk to you. And if you don't want to talk to them, I don't blame you. But once again, and I always preface this, if you actually do know anything about this missing trio, if you know where they are or if you have any information, please pass it along to local authorities so they can get it up in their ranks to the right people. Um, what they did was not a joke. It just, what I find funny is the escape route and the theories surrounding it. The fact that it was became this such a massive story that they made a movie with Clint Eastwood. Like, that's the part I find funny, not that they actually did escape or the fact that they did not finish out their sentences. So I'll preface that. Do you want to add anything, Chelsea?
Agreed.
Yeah.
I don't think so. We're set.
All right. Well, until next time, signing off.